Emma paused with her fork halfway to her mouth. Her father had just cleared his throat in that serious voice he only used when announcing something big, usually bad. "Emma, your mother and I have some wonderful news," he said, smiling too wide. Emma had lived in that house for 10 years. She paid the utility bills, fixed the broken pipes, and turned her childhood bedroom into a place that finally felt like home. But now, sitting at the old wooden dining table with her parents across from her and her younger sister, Kayla, bouncing excitedly in her seat, she felt the ground shift. "What kind of wonderful news?" Emma asked, lowering her fork. Her chicken suddenly tasted dry and cold. Her mother reached over and patted her hand like she was offering comfort at a church potluck. "You know how much we love having you here," she said. Then her father cut in. "But Kayla is getting married and we've decided to give her the house as a wedding gift." The room went completely quiet. Emma could hear the ticking of the hallway clock she'd helped her father hang after redoing the floors she picked out and paid for. "Where are you watching from today? Kindly hit like, comment and subscribe to this channel for more." Kayla squealed and clapped like a child on Christmas morning. "Oh my gosh, this is perfect. Jacob is going to be so excited. We were just talking about finding a place." Their mother beamed proudly. "Now you have a lovely home to begin your life together." Emma looked around the dining room. The chandelier above them? She saved for it and installed it herself. The built-in bookshelves? She had them custom-made by a local carpenter. She'd even painted the walls just a few weeks ago. 10 years of money, effort and love poured into that home. "That's quite a gift," Emma said carefully. "What about me?" Her father waved his hand like it was nothing. "You're 32. It's time to get your own place. We'll give you 30 days to find something suitable." 30 days. Like she was a tenant being evicted. "But I've put so much work into this place," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. "The kitchen, the bathroom upstairs, and we appreciate that," her mother interrupted quickly. "But Kayla's starting a family and she needs the space more than you do." Emma tried not to show how much that stung. Kayla hadn't even set a wedding date yet, but apparently she needed the house more. Her father stabbed at his chicken like it had wronged him. "It's not like we're throwing you out on the street. 30 days is plenty of time. You've got resources." Resources? The only resources she had were the ones she'd spent improving their house instead of saving for her own. Across the table, Jacob, Kayla's fiancé, shifted uncomfortably. "Maybe we should talk about this more as a family," he suggested. "I mean, Emma's been here for a long time." Emma stood up. "It's fine," she said calmly. "Congratulations, Kayla. I'm sure you'll be very happy here." The surprise on their faces almost made her laugh. They were expecting tears, pleading, maybe a meltdown. Instead she smiled the way her mom did when playing hostess and picked up her plate. "Emma, don't be upset," her mom called as she walked to the kitchen. "This is good news for everyone, you'll see." Emma dumped her barely touched dinner down the disposal and turned it on. The grinding noise drowned out the silence behind her. When she turned around, all 4 of them were staring at her. Her father looked uneasy. Her mother twisted her hands. Kayla wore that smug smile she'd mastered in high school. Jacob looked like he wanted to disappear into the floor. "I'm not upset," Emma said. And she meant it. She wasn't upset. She was something stronger. Something more dangerous. "I'm just going to make a phone call." She walked upstairs to what was now her soon-to-be ex-bedroom and grabbed her phone. "Sophie," she said when her best friend picked up. "They're giving my house to Kayla as a wedding gift. I need a lawyer." There was a pause. "Emma, are you serious?" Sophie asked. "Dead serious. And they have no idea what's coming." The next morning, Emma called in sick to work and spread every receipt, invoice and photo she had across her bedroom floor. 10 years of home improvements, all documented. Her laptop balanced on a stack of Home Depot receipts while she scanned her photo gallery and bank statements. She found a $4,000 HVAC invoice from 4 years ago. The air system had failed during a heat wave while her parents were vacationing. She'd paid for it. Her dad had promised to reimburse her, once things settled. They never did. Her phone buzzed again. "Sophie, please tell me you're not doing anything wild," she said without even saying hello. "Define wild," Emma replied. "I'm documenting everything I've paid for in this house. Did you know it totals more than $60,000? $60,000? Do you have proof?" Emma lifted a thick folder. Receipts, bank statements, photos. Everything. I even have emails where they asked me to handle repairs. What about rent? They never charged me rent. Every time I offered, Dad said I was already contributing enough with what I did around the house. There was silence on the other end of the line. Emma, you might have a case. If you can prove you made these improvements with the understanding that you were gaining some kind of ownership. I can prove it, Emma interrupted. Okay, but if we file a lien against your parents' house, there's no going back. Your family won't forgive you for this. Emma looked around her room, at the custom closet she'd designed and paid for, the hardwood floors she'd refinished, the window seat she built herself. Maybe I don't want their forgiveness, she said quietly. I'm not just angry. I'm done. Emma barely slept that night. By morning she was still surrounded by papers and memories. She found receipts from the plumber who fixed the kitchen sink right before Thanksgiving 2020, emails from contractors about the roof, and pictures of the garden beds she'd built by hand. Every piece of paper told a story of time, effort, and money. One email from her dad caught her eye. Can you handle this one, kiddo? The market's tight right now. That had been about the $12,000 roof repair. She'd paid the full amount. The contractor even wrote the check in her name because she handled everything. Her phone rang. It was her mom. Emma considered letting it go to voicemail but picked up. Emma, her mom said gently, can we talk about last night? About what? Emma said, not bothering to hide the edge in her voice. About how you gave away my house. Don't say it like that, her mom said. Kayla's starting a new life. So was I, for 10 years. Do you even know how much I've spent on this house? Silence. Because I do, Emma continued. And I've got every receipt. Sweetheart, you chose to do those things, her mom said weakly. No one forced you. You both asked me to help every time something broke. You said I was contributing. That's why you never asked for rent. It's different, her mom insisted. You were living here. Was I? Or was I paying your bills and doing free renovations? Another long pause. I think you're being very unfair, Emma. We gave you a home for 10 years. No, Emma said, her voice sharper now. I gave you a free property manager for 10 years. There's a difference. Her mother tried to respond, but Emma ended the call. She immediately rang Sophie. Change of plans. How soon can we file the lien? Are you sure? Sophie asked. Absolutely. How soon? If you bring everything this afternoon, I can have the documents ready by tomorrow morning. Do it, Emma said and hung up. She gathered everything into folders and prepared to take the next step. She wasn't just reacting anymore. She had a plan. 3 days later, Emma came home from work to find her street filled with parked cars. Laughter and music poured from the backyard. Confused, she walked through the back door and stopped short. Balloons, banners, wine glasses, and catered food filled the patio. Kayla stood near the grill in a white sundress and a glittery tiara that read bride-to-be. Surprise! Kayla shouted. I invited a few people over to show Jacob's family the house. Emma blinked. Without asking me? Well, it's going to be mine soon anyway, Kayla said with a shrug. About 20 guests roamed the backyard. The same backyard Emma had landscaped, where she'd installed string lights and garden beds. She spotted her father giving a tour to Jacob's parents near the outdoor kitchen she built. It's a beautiful home, Jacob's mom was saying. Kayla is very lucky. We wanted to give her the best start, her dad replied proudly. This house has been in our family for years. Emma opened a beer and sat near the garden she'd planted, watching them like strangers. Desiree, Kayla's best friend, appeared beside Emma with a wine glass. I heard the news, she said with a smug smile. You must be thrilled for Kayla. Emma took a long sip from her beer. Over the moon. It must be strange though moving out after all this time. Have you found a place yet? Still deciding. Well, don't take too long. Kayla already has plans for your room. She wants to turn it into a nursery. Emma stared at her. Of course she does. Desiree laughed and turned back toward the crowd. Emma pulled out her phone and started taking pictures. The garden beds, the pergola, the stained deck. What are you doing? Desiree asked. Documenting. Documenting what? Everything. Emma didn't wait for another question. She moved through the house quietly, snapping photos of the new kitchen window she replaced after a storm, The bathroom tiles she laid herself, the hardwood floors with a small scratch from moving in her dresser. Every image was another piece of evidence. "Emma dear," said a soft voice. It was Mrs. Miller, their neighbor for the past 15 years. She appeared beside Emma holding a small plate of cheese and crackers. "Hi, Mrs. Miller. Enjoying the party?" "Oh, I never miss a good show," she said with a twinkle in her eye. "Though this one's especially interesting." "What do you mean?" Mrs. Miller lowered her voice. "I saw some gentlemen in suits visit your parents last week. From the bank. Looked serious." "The bank? And your father's been checking the mail like a nervous squirrel. Usually that means someone's expecting bad news." Before Emma could respond, her mom walked over with Jacob's parents. "Emma, I want you to meet Richard and Paula. They're Jacob's parents." "Lovely to meet you," Paula said warmly. "Kayla told us you've taken such good care of the house." "I've done a lot of work, yes," Emma replied slowly. "It shows. Everything is beautiful." Richard nodded. "You must be proud." Emma smiled faintly and glanced at Kayla, who was now showing guests around as if she'd hand-picked every tile and faucet. Back inside, Emma followed her mother into the kitchen. As soon as they were alone, her mom spun around with a tense look. "What's with the attitude? You're being rude to our guests." Emma folded her arms. "Your guest. This is Kayla's party, remember? Don't be petty, Emma. This is hard for all of us." Emma let out a dry laugh. "Hard for who? You made the decision without even talking to me." "We agonized over it," her mother snapped. "We thought about what's best for everyone." "No, you thought about what's best for Kayla. Like always." Her mother's face flushed. "That's not true. Isn't it? When has Kayla ever been told no? When has she ever had to earn anything? She's getting married, Emma. She needs to figure out her own life like the rest of us." Emma turned and walked back outside, leaving her mother speechless in the kitchen. Kayla was now standing near the pool, describing Emma's kitchen remodel like it was something she did herself. Mrs. Miller reappeared beside Emma. "If you ever need someone to confirm how much work you've done on this place," she whispered, "I've got eyes. I've seen it all from my porch for years." Emma blinked. "Why would I need verification? You never know when a good witness might come in handy." Just then Emma's phone buzzed. A text from Sophie. "Paperwork is ready. Are you sure about this?" Emma looked around the party. Her parents laughing with strangers, Kayla showing off the ring, the house, the life Emma built. She typed one word back: file. At exactly 8:47 a.m. on Tuesday, Emma stood at her bedroom window holding a mug of coffee as a man in a suit stepped out of a car and knocked on the front door. Her father answered in his robe, expecting maybe a package. Instead, he was handed a large envelope. Emma didn't need to hear to know exactly what was in it. "Emma, get down here right now," her father's voice thundered through the house. She took one last sip of coffee and calmly walked downstairs. Her parents sat at the kitchen table, papers spread out like they were looking over a crime scene. "What the hell is this?" her dad barked. "Legal notice," Emma replied, pouring more coffee. "Would you like a cup? You both look like you need it." Her mom's hands trembled as she flipped through the pages. "Emma, what have you done?" "I've protected my investment. That's $63,000 and change. Plus interest. Plus legal fees." "You can't be serious," her father said. "This is our house." "Not according to those documents. Until you pay me back, part of this house belongs to me." "You're taking us to court?" "I'm filing a lien." "Different thing. Unless you want to fight it." "Families don't do this to each other," her mother whispered. "No," Emma agreed. "And families also don't give away someone's home behind their back." Emma's phone rang. Kayla's contact picture flashed across the screen. A close-up selfie from a beachside brunch. She put the call on speaker. "Emma, what the hell did you do?" Kayla's voice screeched loud enough to make everyone flinch. "I filed a lien. Chase's lawyer says we can't transfer the house now. The wedding is in 4 months. 4 months. Then I suggest you all figure out how to come up with $63,000. You lived there rent-free." "No, I lived there maintenance-free." "Big difference." "I'm coming over," Kayla screamed before hanging up. Emma set the phone down calmly. "She's coming over," she said, watching her parents stare helplessly at the documents. "Fix this," her father demanded. Call your lawyer and fix this. I'm not fixing anything, Emma replied. You broke it when you tried to give away my home. It's not your home, her father snapped. Emma smiled coolly. The lien says otherwise. 20 minutes later, Kayla burst through the front door still in pajamas, hair in a messy bun, and Jacob trailing behind her looking like he'd rather vanish. You vindictive snake, she yelled. How could you do this? Language, their mom said weakly. Don't you dare tone police me right now, Kayla snapped. She's ruining my wedding. I'm not ruining anything. I'm collecting what I'm owed, Emma said, her voice calm. You're not owed anything. You chose to do that work. Biz, you all asked me to. Every single time. Jacob cleared his throat. Maybe we should all sit down and talk this out. There's nothing to talk about, Kayla hissed. She needs to drop this lawsuit. It's not a lawsuit. It's a lien. And no, I'm not dropping it. Emma turned to her father. You asked what I want. I want my money. All of it. We don't have that kind of money, he said, looking desperate. Then you shouldn't have promised something you couldn't afford to give, Emma replied, arms crossed. Jacob glanced between the sisters, his face pale. Kayla, maybe we should think about other places. There are other houses out there. I don't want other houses. Kayla shouted. I want this house. It's perfect for us. Emma raised her eyebrows. It was perfect for me too. That's why I spent 10 years making it perfect. You're being selfish. Kayla snapped. Emma's jaw clenched. I'm being selfish? You were ready to push me out of my home without even asking. It's not your home. Kayla shouted. The lien says otherwise, Emma replied. Just then the back door opened and in walked Mrs. Miller carrying a large casserole dish. I hope I'm not interrupting anything, she said sweetly. The kitchen went dead silent. Just wanted to drop off some tuna casserole, and mention if anyone needs a witness to confirm Emma's work on the house. I've got notebooks full of observations. Very detailed. She placed the dish on the counter and patted Emma's shoulder before heading back out. Jacob looked directly at Kayla. How much debt do you have? He asked suddenly. Kayla froze. What? Answer the question, her father added grimly. The room fell silent. Kayla mumbled, about $28,000. Jacob narrowed his eyes. In what? Credit cards, and a personal loan. You told me you had no debt, he said. I trusted you. I was going to tell you after the wedding. After you trapped me? Jacob's voice was ice. Emma stayed silent, watching the truth unravel. Judge Martinez's words from mediation echoed in her mind. When everything comes out, you can't put it back in. Jacob turned to her parents. Did you know about this? We didn't know the full amount, their mom said, trembling. And yet you were giving her a house, Jacob muttered. This whole family is something else. He walked out the front door without another word. Kayla dropped into a chair and covered her face, sobbing. Look what you've done, their mother hissed at Emma. What I've done? Emma laughed dryly. I didn't lie. I didn't hide debt. I didn't forge anyone's signature. Her father slammed his hand on the counter. Enough. We'll pay you. But after this, you're dead to us. Emma nodded. I understand. So tell me, where are you getting $63,000? The look that passed between her parents said it all. They had no clue. 2 weeks later, the house had become a battlefield. Kayla moved back in temporarily, alternately crying and yelling at Emma through closed doors. You ruined everything, she screamed one morning. Emma ignored her and got ready for work. Call Jacob, Kayla begged from the hallway. Tell him it was all a misunderstanding. Tell him you're dropping the lien. Emma opened the door and faced her sister. I'm not dropping anything. And this mess? You created it. I loved him, Kayla whispered, tears streaming. You loved his money. And the idea of him, Emma replied coldly. That's not true. Really? When did you ever talk about Jacob as a person and not a wallet? Kayla sobbed louder. I don't know what to do now. Then figure it out, Emma said. Like every other adult. I don't know how. Then it's time you learn. Get a job. Pay off your debt. Build your own life without stealing from mine. Kayla dropped to the floor crying. I gave up my savings. I gave you $15,000. And you lied about your total debt. Greta told me it's actually $47,000. Kayla looked up in shock. She saw your credit card statements blowing around the mailbox. Kayla buried her face in her hands. Emma turned and headed downstairs. Her parents were fighting again in the kitchen, this time about missed bank payments and second mortgages. She cleared her throat and walked in like she didn't hear a thing. "Morning," she said cheerfully, pouring coffee. "Anything new?" Her dad glared. "You enjoying this?" "Not really. But I do enjoy finally standing up for myself." "We let you live here for free," her mother snapped. "No," Emma replied. "You let me pay for your property maintenance and upgrades while calling it free rent." Her phone buzzed. "Sophie. Lunch. Urgent." "I've got to go," Emma said. "Try not to burn the place down while I'm gone. I have a legal stake in it now." As she walked to her car, Mrs. Miller called from her porch. "Emma, dear, another bank visit yesterday. Your father didn't look happy when they left. Did you hear anything? Something about missed payments and foreclosure deadlines." Emma raised an eyebrow. "Foreclosure? That's what it sounded like. And Kayla's debt is bigger than she claims. She's in over her head." Emma thanked her and drove to meet Sophie downtown. Sophie didn't waste time. "We have a problem," she said as Emma sat down. "Your parents are behind on mortgage payments. Deeply behind. The bank's starting foreclosure." Emma blinked. "What does that mean for me?" "If the house gets taken, your lien becomes worthless. So I lose everything." "Worse. You stay legally tied to a sinking ship." Emma sank back in her seat. "Options. 2. You pay off their mortgage and take the house yourself. Or you pull out now and let it all collapse." "How much is the mortgage?" $87,000. Emma shook her head. "I don't have that kind of money." Sophie nodded slowly. "There's one more option, court-ordered mediation. But if we go that route, everything comes out. The debt. The mortgage. The forged loan documents." Emma frowned. "What forged documents?" Sophie pulled out a paper. "Your signature is on a 2021 loan. But you were out of town that week. Someone forged it to take out $30,000 in your name." The next morning they sat at a long table in a neutral conference room. Judge Turner led the mediation. Emma had her folder of receipts. Her parents looked pale. Kayla looked broken. "Let's begin," Judge Turner said. "Emma claims $63,000 in home improvements. Documents support this. She also paid taxes, utilities and maintenance. Mr. and Mrs. Thomas, you claim she lived there rent-free. However, evidence says otherwise. And we have a larger concern." He lifted the forged loan form. "You used your daughter's identity for a $30,000 home equity loan. That is fraud." Her father looked ready to faint. Her mother burst into tears. Kayla was silent. "What are your demands, Miss Thomas?" Judge Turner asked. Emma sat tall. "Full repayment. $63,000, plus $32,000 in damages and legal fees. Total, $95,000. The room fell quiet. "We don't have that money," her dad whispered. "Then sell the house," Emma replied. Kayla suddenly said, "I have $15,000. I'll pay part of it." Shock rippled through the room. Her parents agreed to withdraw from retirement accounts for the rest. "Once funds are transferred," Emma said, "I'll release the lien. But after that we're done. No calls. No visits. No pretending this family didn't destroy itself." Her father's eyes filled with regret. "Emma, no," she said, rising to her feet. "Family doesn't steal from you, lie to you and expect you to smile through it." She walked out of the mediation room and never looked back. Moral lesson. Silence isn't loyalty, it's permission. When you let people misuse your kindness, they'll call it family. Stand up, speak out, and protect your worth, even if you have to do it alone. Remember to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more of this.